I'd like to start out with a brief introduction about some of the fundamental concepts that you are part of doing Tai Chi and Qigong. The most critical thing in doing Tai Chi and in Qigong practice is to understand that what you're doing internally with the energy, or in Chinese the Qi, is as important, if not more important, than what is being done with the physical body. That's not to say that the physical counterpart is not important as well, because the body mechanics themselves greatly enhance the internal movement of Qi. Just as a kind of quick example of that, you have the idea of a hose, and the Qi is like a fluid moving through the hose. If you have a kink in the hose, it doesn't flow as well. You still might have a little bit going through, but it's not nearly as much as if it's really open. So the mechanics play an important role in getting it open, but ultimately it's really the internal manipulation that's at the core of the movements. So in Tai Chi, fundamentally, you're doing one of four things, and it gets a little more complicated through the form, but in essence, you're either pulling into the center of your body, which is a point called the lower dantian, or expanding out from there. So you're going really from the center to the periphery, or from the periphery to the center. Or you're going from the ground through your body up through the top of the head to heaven. So heaven to earth, or from earth to heaven. So you're doing one of those four things. These four kind of primary, what I call them manipulations or something, because there's not a really good way to translate the words for it in English, are really the building blocks for Tai Chi. As you go through a Tai Chi form, they're done in a much more complex manner, and they interact in the sense that there's not just those fours, there's combinations of the four as well, and then there's asymmetries that one side of the body might be doing something different than the other side. So as you go through the form itself, it's a little more complicated, but the foundation exercises that I like to have people do really build those four and kind of get you working on that right away, and then it translates eventually into the form. It's very difficult to get these things in the form itself because of the complexity of the physical movements. You just spend a lot of time initially learning Tai Chi, where you spend almost all your attention on just the choreography. You know, where does this hand go? Where does this foot go? As long as you're doing that, you can't really have the time to pay attention to what's going on internally. So the Qigong exercises that I teach are really designed, and this little program is designed to develop the internal as a prelude to eventually carrying it into the Tai Chi form. Another important aspect of doing Tai Chi, and this can't really be overemphasized, is you want to have your body very relaxed and very loose. One of the reasons for this is you want to get everything loosened up so that the joints become very free, but at the same time you also want to have the control over everything, so everything has the ability to not just move in straight lines, but to move in circles. And in Tai Chi, all the movement really is circular movement. There really is not linear movement in Tai Chi. And there's a series of basic exercises that also help develop the circular movement. Again, as this translates into the form, and when you combine the circular movement with the four manipulations, it creates internal spiraling through the body, which is one of the primary things you want to be able to eventually develop.